Hello, guys. Hope everybody's doing well out there this Saturday. Well, Saturday, the early evening for me, 4:27 p.m. I just got out of Walmart on my way down to Home Depot. I was trying to look for what is it, like a little mini um fireplace thing. It's like a fire pit, and I saw it online. It's for indoors. Now it won't warm up your whole house unless you get the really big ones that are expensive, and I'm not paying $1,000 for a fire pit. No, I would rather just get one that price for outdoors or something. So there's some online. They sell it on Timu. Timu, if you get it from Timu, it's pretty reasonable price. If you don't get it from Timu, you're looking about maybe $20, $30, and it's it's got real fire. And they use like a little alcohol. I don't know what kind. I don't know if it's ethanol or some other kind of alcohol you have to put in there. And I looked at some things on YouTube where it comes up the fire, and they say it's supposed to warm your hands. People have used marshmallows on it before, and you can put it right there in the middle of your table to keep warm. And so I figured, let me go get one of those. I still have yet to order my charcoal grill, which I want to do that soon, an indoor charcoal grill. And it's a small little thing. It looks like a what is it? It looks like a little pan almost. What is this doing at my phone? It's always acting stupid all the time. The thing went down. The bar for the volume. I put it back up. Let me get out of here. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. I want to buy those things. And what got me thinking about the fire pit, I've been wanting a fire pit for some time because I've always wanted a fireplace. I've always wanted that. I never ever got that because, of course, a lot of apartments don't have that. And if you do get an apartment with that, it's probably highly expensive. Um, a house right now, no, I don't see it happening. I wanted to move into a house, but it ain't happening this time. Not anytime soon. I'm not liking the prices of the houses right now. Same thing with my sister. I said, no, we're going to wait for a while. You know, I don't think we're going to moving into anything anytime soon. I mean, we have money stashed away, but I just don't think it's worth it. And the taxes, everything. I'm just going to wait. It's not worth it. So me and my hubby most likely going to be renewing our lease again this year. And like I said, I'll stay in an apartment as long as I can until things go back down to a reasonable price. You know, I mean, I'm thankful just to have somewhere to live, and I'm thankful to live in an apartment that's clean and ain't got no bugs in there. You know what I mean. It got a little mice every once in a blue moon, but I don't care about that. Because they normally go away after a while. They don't stay long. They will field mice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll just stay there until find something reasonable. I don't want to move into some house that I don't even want and is overpriced and is ugly and everything looks bad in it. No, that's okay. And also, the reason why today I was thinking about a fire pit and an indoor one was because we have a major storm coming. I'm sure people probably heard about it here on this side of the East Coast. I don't know if they're getting it in the Midwest, the middle states, but supposedly there's a big storm coming. I don't know how big, and I don't know. People say it's gonna be like 18 inches. Some people say it's going to be more ice, but one way or another, it's going to be extremely cold. It's going to go down to, like, right now on my thermostat. What does it say here? 19 degrees inside of this car. When I'm outside of it, it's colder. It's 10 degrees. So that the temperature is extremely cold right now here on the East Coast, and the sun is like cooked by those clouds. That's because it's getting ready to snow real soon. First it was supposed to snow tonight, and then it went down to 3 a.m. It changed it. So that's kind of good because, I want to cook up a nice big tomato sauce later on. And I also want to make some chicken parm along with that, some penne, like baka noodles. And I'm going to get some cheese from ShopRite. But before I go there, I want to go to Home Depot because I want to see if they have something like that with a mini fire pit. It's not electric. It's using alcohol, and you torch it and fire comes up and it creates a little flame to put your hands over to stay warm. Because if a blackout happens, this is my concern. If a blackout happens, nothing's going to work. You know, nothing's going to work. So you're like, okay, well, I need to make sure I got the fire pit. And so I'm hoping I have something that'll keep me warm. Otherwise, me and hubby gonna have to be in this car sitting there turning on the heat every once in a while and then turning the car off. Because I'm not gonna sit in the house cold. No. And it's not that haven't done it before, because I have back in the days. When I was younger, I can recall even when we didn't have blackouts, because we lived in this house back when I was younger. I think we lived there for about 5 years. This one house, very nice house, but the electric, like the heat and the AC didn't work. So in the middle of the summertime, it was extremely hot. It had like 3 fans blowing on me at once. And in the wintertime, woo, it was so cold. I mean, when I say it was so brutally cold that when you went downstairs, you saw smoke blowing out of your mouth every time you talked. You would go down there, and I used to go down there because I loved to dance. I have to mention I would dance for hours upon it, and that's what I loved doing, even as a little girl. So I'll be down there just dancing, and I would be smoke blowing out of my mouth, and I'd be shivering, but I would start dancing, and it would warm me up. So I'll start dancing like crazy down there. But some days we would put our coats on because there's smoke blowing out of our mouths. And then that's when we started getting those heaters, the space heaters, because that was the only thing that was going to keep us warm. Because otherwise, if you didn't have a heater around you, you're going to be blowing out, smoke out of your mouth. So that's what happened. But downstairs was the coldest, and we went upstairs, you were warm because of the space heaters. But before we got it, it was so cool. We had smoke blowing out of our mouth. I mean, it was crazy. It was almost like you were outside. And I can't believe, I was able to withstand that, be downstairs dancing as a kid. Oh my gosh, now you won't be catching me doing that, sneaking out of my bed like that. Just going turning left or right. What are you doing? You're just standing there, and like you're gonna make a left or right turn. That's how accidents happen. They just stop their car slowly. They just sitting there. You're like, come on, you're gonna turn left or right? Like, what's going on here? Oh boy. Oh yeah, I hope to find a fire pit, because that would be nice. I was thinking about doing a stream tonight, but it depends on how I'm feeling. I bought myself yesterday a thing of Labrusca red wine from Valenzo, and that's a good wine. I like that wine. My other favorite wine is the cranberry wine, because I have a hard time finding the Tomasello one. They seem to be running out of that supplies for some reason. And if I'm up to it, maybe I'll have a stream tonight. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. I don't know if I have some music or singing. I don't know. I just have not been really in the mood to. And I guess I feel like there's just too much going on. I have too much going on, and I'm not focused. I'm just like, it kind of kills my mood sometimes to want to do things. It's just like too much going on at once, and I'm like, okay, I don't have like time to process things. It's like, okay, I want to sing, I want to dance, but I gotta, when there's just so much going on like that, in my mind all at once, I'm just like, I can't, I can't. It can kind of kill my mood sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. I have to be like nothing going on throughout the day. I have the day, and it's like, okay, let me go ahead and sing, and let me go dance and stuff. But when I got so much in my mind and thinking, it's like sometimes it's harder to kind of get myself in the mood to do things. So I'll see. It depends on how I'm feeling. I don't know. It's just weird because like there's a time I remember where I could do so much, and I could still, I was able to somehow get myself in the mood to do things. But it just seems like the older I'm getting, it's getting harder and harder to like get myself in the mood to do stuff. I don't know, like, not that I don't like to sing or dance or do things, but it just seems like, especially when I'm overwhelmed or if I got too much on my mind or too much to do, maybe it's just a normal process of getting older. I don't know. I just find myself a lot more moodier and more irritable with things. Like, I don't know, my patience is going. It really is. Like, it's stripping away, you know? It's stripping away. I'm so glad that the Home Depot is right next to the shopping center. I got to park somewhere. It's like right in between both of these stores. so I don't have to move my car. Let me see. It's so cold out there, man. And I brought these gloves or so I could put these on tomorrow, especially when I start, wiping my car down. I think I'm gonna park right here because this is right next to this entrance. It's right there. Lowe's. I don't know why I thought that was Home Depot. That's Lowe's. Let me see what's in there. I don't know. One way or another, it's either I'm gonna have to move my car, or I think park in the middle, so I'm not walking too far of a distance from each store. This way. Yeah. Lots of things. Before I go out to do this, got myself a little Mountain River candle because if the electric goes out, I need some lights, and I got my gloves because it's so cold out here. But it's weird because when I was inside of Walmart, it's strange. I went to the candle aisle, right? And I just walked. I looked over. There was a male worker standing there, and he was near a set of candles. So I looked over at him because I was looking near the candle section. I said, "Oh, sorry, excuse me." And he's looking at me weird. I'm like, "Okay, I'm not staring at." I'm looking through each candle. So then I say, these candles are okay, but they're not exactly what I'm looking for. Let me go in the back. I go to the back area where the candles are at, and I'm smelling through them all. And I mean, there was some wood wick ones, but for the price, I didn't feel like it was worth it. Like some of them was nearly like what, 16 some dollars, something change. It's about to be like $20. I'm like, I ain't paying for that. This candle's not big. It says a wood wick. Okay, it's different kind of wood wick. I mean, a little wick on it. So I'm not gonna pay that extra like that. It smells good though, this one. So I'm going through each one. There's all these smells. Within, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of someone coming over near me while I'm smelling each candle. And so they stand there, and I thought at first I was just checking the candle section out, maybe looking to see the inventory system. Probably like 30 seconds to a minute later, another worker comes right around me again, and they're standing on the right side as I'm, going through the candle smell nothing. I'm like, oh, about this one. I'm looking through each one. So they just stand there and they look and they walk over. I said, okay, that's weird. So this is like the most like Walmart workers I ever got attention from. Like just coming near and just and there's one little area when any other time you're looking for a worker or you need assistance, they're nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, all these workers are coming in this one section I'm standing at. Then another one comes over and she just like walks over and she just like, just standing there, just walking slowly and goes away. I would say probably about 4 to 5 workers approached me if I'm not mistaken, because it was more than 3. I know that. And I thought it was strange. And I said, why are these many workers like all of a sudden like coming around me? And I stood near that area for a while. It was like, standing around just smelling each candle, looking, and then just standing there for a little bit. And I just look at the next aisle. And then, I guess after maybe the 4th or 5th person, I didn't see anybody no more. But I stood there for like 10, 15 minutes. I didn't care. Like, you're not going to rush me and, intimidate me or make me feel any kind of way. Like, I'm not sure of this, but maybe they thought I was trying to steal or something, which, hey, you can stand there and watch it all you want. Because guess what? I'm just stealing. Honestly, I was waiting for someone to say something, like, because they would have got played, like, can I help you? No, I'm good. I'm just sitting there, I wish someone would say something to me, you know what I mean? Or try to accuse me of something, because they would have gotten it from me, but they didn't say nothing because there was nothing they could accuse me of. I mean, I'm just sitting there shopping, but it was just weird, that's not this, not usual. How many times I try to look for a worker at, Walmart, and you know how they have everything locked up now in certain sections behind the glass? You have to get someone to go over there and open it up. I'd be sitting there ringing that bell thing, the button, so they can come, and they sit there and they'll be waiting for her. I'm like, when is someone gonna come? Like, is anyone coming? I'm standing around there idle and no one's helping you. I walk in, I go to the candle section, and I'm sniffing. There go all these workers. They all come, and I'm like, wow, I wish you guys would like this when we press the button, because it happens all the time. Maybe you should respond just the same exact way when people need stuff. But you over here coming at me and walking near me, and you probably suspecting that I'm stealing, but the real stealer is probably out the store already. You know what I mean? I dare them to say something. You know, there was a situation that happened before recently, right? This is like this past year. It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't me though. It's a situation where my father witnessed something at a Wawa. I'm gonna go ahead and walk to Lowe's. I want to see something here. Ooh, it's cold out here. It's so cold. My hoodie was freezing on it. My gosh. Oh, yeah. Try not to be too loud because I don't want to disturb people. I could be loud, you know. I mean, I'm from New York City originally. People out there are loud, you know. Um, so, what ended up happening? My father said that there was a woman, right, with her child, and she went and bought some stuff. You know, the checkout area. The checkout area. Trying to get over the street here. Oh, my hat keeps falling off. The checkout area, you know, you go and you don't have to wait for the cashier. You can just go and swipe your stuff. Whew, it's cold. You can swipe your items and get your receipt and go, right? So, from what I remember, my father said that she was swiping her stuff, and all of a sudden, someone stops her. I don't know if it was the store clerk or who they were. Whew, my feet's freezing. I should have wore boots on. It's cold. They stopped her, right? And they accused her of stealing. They accused her of stealing, and she didn't steal. She purchased, and they called the police on her. So my father was sitting there. He was witnessing it all, and they were like trying to accuse her of something. I don't know if it was a customer that said something and tried to say that she was stealing when she wasn't. She made an assumption. So, hold on 1 second. Excuse me. Do you guys have like mini fire pits, like the indoor ones? 526. Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. So we're here at 26. Let's check 26. I'll take my time because I want to tell this, quick story. Pretty much the cops came and they, investigated the whole situation. So the woman sitting there, her child is crying and stuff like that. And, she's like, I didn't steal anything. My father told me that, the woman was trying to say she stole and she didn't, and they were asking for proof. She didn't print out a receipt. So they were going to try to arrest her, accuse her of stealing. Her kid is crying and stuff. So my father said they had to do a full-blown investigation on her. And they had cameras, thankfully, operating and working. And they looked and saw that she did purchase. She did purchase and, got everything. They looked back in the system and stuff. My mother, when she heard that story, she says, honestly, she should have lawsuit them for pain and suffering, false accusations. Because what I was told is like they were trying to arrest her without like really thoroughly investigating anything. Shoot, I'd be suing somebody too. They did some shit like that to me, And the woman, she was like, I'm so sorry. He said that she was apologizing. I thought someone stole. Maybe if you mind your business, stop being so damn nosy, you wouldn't be in these situations, I mean, I can't stand nosy people. I really can't. I mean, there are some good nosy people. The good nosy peoples are ones like neighbors who look out for you. Okay, that's okay to be nosy then. Okay, but when you're nosy to where you are calling police on people, you're looking for something to accuse someone of, I hate that. Or you just don't mind your business and you up in everybody's stuff. It's like, no. I hope that was a valuable lesson to that person, that did that, because you could have gotten an innocent person in trouble. That's not okay to do to people. So my father told me that, and then, that's what it reminded me of. What is this? Weber chimney charcoal starter. I don't know if this is it. Lighter cubes. I don't think this is what I need. Huh. No, this is like a grill starter. No, I don't need this. Let's see. Gas premium cover, gas grill cover. But yeah, that always irritated me. It's nosy people, you know. And I remember this one story. This is going back a long time ago, like I would say about maybe 20 plus years ago. I remember them telling me a story about a situation in court. This woman, right? The woman had, oh, there it goes. Oh, that's so nice. But this one has wood in it. Let me see if I can turn around so that way to show it. Or I could do it like this, see? But this one has wood. And I don't know if this is indoor. This may not be an indoor fire pit. I don't think it is. So there's this one I don't know if that's indoor either. Yeah, these are outdoor fire pits here. I'm looking to see if they have like a indoor one. Yeah, so she went to make to kind of get to the summary of the story with this. She had her kids, someone called diapers on her, right? And I can remember a story with. I'll tell you my story in a minute. But this person here, my father's telling me, she had the diapers called on her, stating her kids' hair wasn't done. Now, first of all, they were African American, so their hair, was natural. It wasn't like straightened or anything like that. It was natural. You know, so sure, they were thin, they were skinny, and the mom did what she could to feed them. Well, then next thing you know, somebody accuses the mother being neglectful, not taking care of her kids. Kids were well fed. They were fine. But I guess when they looked in the cabinets, it was not much food in the cabinets, right? And the next, when he stated that during that session, I guess it was a court, and people are all sitting there listening to different cases. The woman was crying. They were going to take her kids. I don't know what, because of the food situation, but the kids were eating every day. So, what was the problem? So the woman accused that mother, and was sitting there. She was sitting at court, and I heard that she was like crying because she saw that people were pissed after hearing that and wanted to some people wanted to beat her up for that. Like, you hear kids, their mother crying about, the kids probably in tears being ripped away from their mom. If you want to help somebody, how about you go and give them money to buy something for kids? Don't call diapers. So people my father said when people were walking out, they were like, yo, I would beat her ass. That time I was young. I was a little girl at the time when I heard that. And I was like, yeah, be damned, somebody did something like that. That's crazy. And I've heard of stories like this, or like a single mother, who has it rough and, she's taking care of her kids, you know. Oh, is this one? Oh, this is one right here. But it's 149. I was kind of higher than what I expect, but I want the smaller one. This is not too bad. It's a gas tabletop fire pit. Pretty nice stainless steel burner. It looks nice. But there was one that was smaller than that because I am paying $149 for a fire pit. Let's see. This one is $79. This is not bad. It's actually a good deal there. Oh, wait. Never mind. What is this? Ooh. Black finished gas tabletop fire pit. Oh, this looks cool. It's got fire on this one. Custom protective cover and fire case included. Well, that's one I can get. It's only $40. I may get this one, but let me make sure there's no other good deals. This other one is $79 here. And that's the same one, but I'm not looking for something big. I just need something that's decent that I can put on the table and warm us up if we lose electric. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else before I settle for that one. I don't know if they have a second one like that. I may buy one for my sister, you know, just make sure there's no other mini ones they have. Let's see what other ones they have. I don't think they have any more mini fire pits. Hi, how are you? Sorry, just looking to see if they had any more mini fire pits, indoor fire pits. Yeah, the only one I saw that was over here, and let's see, uh, it was this one right here. This is indoor, right? This is indoor. Does it warm up a good amount of space around the person? Okay, I know the storm is coming. I'm like, ooh.
Everybody's freaking out.
I know, right? So I was talking about electric. I mean, that was,
6 packs.
yeah.
Expenses. Doesn't say whether it's indoors.
Yeah.
And well time, ignition time, opening time, so now area of use.
Tabletop. Okay.
So probably it's indoor.
Indoor. Okay. I'll look it up here on my phone because I'm sure Google will probably tell me Island Rocks.
Yeah. It probably will give you more detail if you look it on your phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like it's indoor. I'm gonna read the back of this. Thank you.
These are the only places you can find the portable ones.
Portable. Okay. Thank you. Let me just see. I'm reading this here. Protective cover and fiberglass. Hold on one second. I want to see if this here. I may freeze up on this, but I just gotta look at this. Let's see. So, Allen Rock gas tabletop fire pit for indoor use. Oh. No, I don't think this is for. No, just I looked it up. It states that these are for outdoors. It sucks because oh boy, well, I'm not gonna pay for that if if it's just for outdoor. Sucks. Like maybe Home Depot has it. I don't know how far the Home Depot is from here, but they have one in another town over from me. But I don't want to have to keep driving out. Yeah, they don't have an indoor one. Just looking to see if they have anything else. Oh boy. Oh, let's go over to ShopRite. Ooh, it's cold out here. Well, that sucks because they don't have anything. Let's walk over down this way to the shopping center now. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought I really got excited. It said tabletop, and then when I look it up on Google, it says it's only for outdoor use, which is gonna be hard. We're gonna have to order this stuff on Amazon because they don't have it in the stores. They show it on the websites, but everything now is online. So I'll have to order one, but Whew, I need one now, you know? Oh man. But, what was I gonna say? So yeah, back to what I was saying. You know, I heard the report about the nurse. She reported someone, right? Because there was a lady in the one bedroom apartment. You know, like they talk about visiting nurses. She dealt with children. And this mother was a single mother who was struggling. You know, she was doing the best she could to provide for her kids. They were able to eat. They had food in the cabinets, but they were living in a one bedroom apartment. So, she probably, kept the room for the kids and she had the living room for herself. Now, as long as those kids are being provided well, they're eating, they're dressed, they're clean, they're healthy, there's no need for you to be reporting the fact that she lives in a one bedroom apartment with a bunch of kids, which is stupid, because they got these rules now like that. And I just felt like my sister told me this story about that, right? And I think that's completely evil. Whoever that woman was, you know, and those are the kind of people who get their ass kicked because they don't mind their business. You know, I remember even as when I was a child, me and my sister, because we were like, I was 12, my sister was 11 at the time. She was a year younger. Why is my thing acting up? I gotta get some tomatoes. She was a year younger than me. I don't know what tomatoes are. And right down this way. So, yeah, she was a year younger than me, and we were staying home by ourselves because we were old enough to stay home by ourselves at that time. Brothers, that couldn't stay home, so they had to go wherever my parents go. So this woman, I remember. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you're good. This woman would be right. She is a very nosy neighbor. Very, very. Put this down for a minute. Tomatoes, so I gotta make sure there's not enough. I have cans of like whole tomatoes in the house. There's not enough to make a whole big sauce that I want. I bought Italian chicken sausage, and I bought like turkey, and I bought another thing. It was not chicken Italian sausage. It's something else I bought. I gotta look at my freezer again. But I want to mix it and put it together, see how it's like. So, excuse me. Their chips. I gotta remember what my husband wanted. um, yeah, so this woman was really nosy. She was a nosy neighbor. I remember she used to always call the police on people or DIFUS. I know she was a big for DIFUS calls. I don't know what it was, but every time, everybody in the block always mentioned how she would call DIFUS on like your kids and make reports. And I'm like, how does she get away with this? And how does people not say something to her? You know? Excuse me. This My husband wants sour cream and onion ruffles. So she just had a habit of doing that. No one really put her in her place. So one day, me and my husband me and my sister, I'm saying husband, me and my sister stayed home by ourselves because we were old enough to do that. We were old enough to do that. And she found out we were home. I forgot how she found out we were home. I know we were cool with her daughter, but because of her mom, a lot of times we always try to be careful what we said to her daughter a lot. And she called DYFS on us one time. She called DYFS, and I'm trying to make sure I don't need anything else from here. I don't think I do. She called DYFS on us, and my parents was pissed off because they were like, they're old enough to stay home. Like, they're not, under the age. I forgot what happened after that, but I know my parents mentioned she did that, and that she had a bad habit because when you speak to other neighbors and about their kids, she did the same thing. So nobody really liked her at all. Nobody did. So, my parents, like my mom, I think she cursed her out or something because she was like, my daughters are old. You need to mind your effing business, And she was always doing stuff like that. If you want to help me, if you want to be so much into someone's business and how they raise their kids, how about you help out? How about you take them? My kids are fed. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. She's the same one that when I did babysitting for her back in 2014, she was trying to demand me around. Like, if my mom doesn't want me to babysit, I don't have to, And she was like saying, well, Candace agreed to this. And my mom's like, I don't care what she agreed to. I'm her mother. She's a child. She ain't doing it. So she was very much like that. She was those kind of people that she didn't mind her business. And, she wants to sit here and complain about someone else's parenting, but yet don't help out, don't do anything. That's irritating. So, she never did that to us again because, she got put in her place. But, like no one ever liked her because of that. But it's funny because her kids, she would leave them home alone and they were younger than like 10, 9 years old, but yet you want to look at someone else and how they're raising their kids. That's what it reminds me of, Like I've never understood that. So when I see nosy people, I always think back to experiences like that, I think I got everything I need. I just needed to get tomatoes. Oh no, cheese. You can go ahead. This way. I'm glad I thought of that. I just didn't walk out the store because I do need some cheese. Oh, excuse me. All right. Oh, me and Matt are gonna have to do our best to, I guess, stay warm tonight. I guess we'll be blowing each other's. Excuse me. I guess we'll be blowing each other's hot air breath on each other. Just keep warm. Probably wearing like 3 socks. I do have some pants though that's warm, that has fur in it that my nurse got me. So I'll probably go ahead and use that for later. It says if the electric turns off. Let's hope that don't happen. I'm in the cheese section. All right, let's see what they got. I got so much to do when I get home. I gotta put the laundry, gotta clean my room, gotta put food on to get the stuff on. And I gotta pay some bills too. That's not fun, but it is what it is. I'd rather get everything done today and that way tomorrow I don't have to do nothing. Let's see. So I want these are smoked cheese. Goita, no, I need like Italian cheeses. Italian cheese. Oh, I'm gonna go over this way. I think it's down this way. Is it cheddar though? Oh, I found it. All right, so provolone. We got sharp provolone cheese. It's a Asiago cheese. I call it. Sometimes I say Asiago cheese. This is a good one because I've tried it before. Actual butter cheese, no. Mozzarella, no. I don't want mozzarella. It's Parmesan cheese, the aged one. So Parmesan cheese. Yeah, aged 10 months. You know what? I think I'll use this because I already have provolone cheese in the house. There's also another one. It's Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. See, there have any mixed cheeses. I like the mixed cheeses a lot. Pecorino Romano cheese. Romano cheese. Nutty flavor. That's some that's all mixed together. It's provolone, patina, parmigiano, and Asiago cheese. You know what? This is mixed. Maybe, you know, I'll use that instead because I like that. It's a whole mixture. It's sliced, but it's natural cheeses. Sliced in. No, I'm gonna get this. Yeah, so yeah, I've just you know, when I think of like nosy people like that, that's how I get. I get very angry. So I always think of like people that just want to complain but not help out or do nothing. And I think it's really evil to do stuff like that to people. In there. Okay. Excellent. Sorry about that. Oh boy, I had to call my husband too because he wants me to get the baked chips and I can't find them looking around. Had to go off the line. He got annoyed because he was in the bathroom. He talked so low, and I'm like, "Hello, hey, what are you saying?" And he's like, getting mad. I'm like, "Well, I can't hear what you're saying." Oh boy. I got everything I needed. Whew, it's freezing out here. I'm still trying to switch in my car. Car. Woo, it's freezing. All right. Whew. Man, my hands are ready. Feeling cold. I'm glad I got those gloves for tomorrow. Phew. Man, oh man, I'm putting this heat on right now in this car because it is freezing. That's the stuff in the seat. I don't even bother getting bags anymore because, you know, here in Jersey, they still make you pay for the bags, you know. Oh, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Whew. All right. Woo. Yeah. My gosh. All right. Well, home sweet home. Yeah, my hand's cold. So yeah, that's my stories on the Mr. or Mrs. Nosies, and I notice most of the time it's a woman. It's always a nosy behind woman or female that just wants to be up in someone's business. You know, want to tell people how to live their life, and what to do, and call police and stuff on people, but yet they don't want to help out. You're so concerned about someone and their child and them starving and them being hungry or whatever. Or you feel like someone's going to get ready to steal or something like that. How about you lend out a helping hand? You know, how about you help them out? You know, so instead of calling DYFS, because you know DYFS. This is the truth. A lot of those people that that take your kids to that place, they don't have a good life after that. DYFS is not a place for kids. You know, a lot of them end up getting abused. I've heard stories about kids being trafficked in DYFS. Kids getting abused. They were better off with their parents. And a lot of times they'll come and take kids from good parents. Parents are doing all the right things. It's just maybe they're struggling a little bit. You know, there are some cases where, the kids are being taken from bad parents, and maybe parents that are on drug dealer, that were on drugs and doing things, and maybe their parents are abusive. But guess what? They just go from one abusive home to the next. That's all that happens. You know, sadly, a lot of those kids live really bad lives. I don't think that really the DIFAS system is good. And they'll take kids unnecessarily. It's not like kids that are really being abused, and they send them to these families. A lot of them that are not really good, like foster parents. I'm not saying every foster parent is a bad parent. So don't think that if me saying this is speaking for every foster parent. I'm just saying a lot of situations where kids go to bad foster parents. And it's like, wow, I thought you were taking them out of their home to be protected, and they go into another bad household, where the abuse is probably far more worse. But like stuff like that, no, that's just evil. Like, especially with my sister, when she was telling me a story about this woman that was reporting the woman in the one bedroom. Kids was eating right, they were good weight, the hair was done, they were kept, they were clean, they were fed, they were happy. And then she goes and reports her for living in one bedroom apartment. That's evil. That's really, really wicked. You want to help somebody out, don't report them. Help them out. Well, they should be living in one bedroom. Who are you to tell somebody what they can and cannot be doing? Especially in these time of day, these times, these really bad times we're living in. A lot of people are living in their cars now, or living at the extended stay hotels and stuff. And they're having it rough. They're having it very rough, and they're putting up the cost of living by double the amount that it ever has been. This is the worst that the cost of living has ever been. There's never a time in history that you can tell me where cost of living was this bad. It was never this bad. It's got so bad it's well above the amount people make. People already, before the rent went up, people already was one check away from being homeless. Now they're about 3 checks, maybe 4 checks away from being homeless now. And they're struggling and trying to get money to make ends meet. There are people who are just giving up. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care anymore. There's people literally giving up. They're like, at this point, I don't even care anymore. They're like, well, what are you going to do? I don't care. I don't care what happens. That's where people are at now. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen. That's how people are talking now. They're like, I don't know. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know. Because they don't know. They don't know what to do. They're sitting there losing their house, they're being evicted, their jobs are not paying them enough or giving them raises like they should, and then their rent is going up skyrocket. I saw a video with the woman saying her rent went up to $3,000. I said, what? Oh, hell no. She's like, I can't afford this. I don't know what to do. People are at the point where they're just giving up. They're like, I don't even want to work anymore. They're like, what am I working for? Just to sit here and be stressed out even more? And then some people, they still continue to work, but they're living in their cars or in extended hotels. What they'll do is, like, one night they'll sleep at their car. Another night they'll go and stay at a family friend's house or whatever. The next night they stay at a friend's house. The next night they may stay at a hotel just to give their family members some break. And they stay at like an extended stay hotel, some of them. And they'll just kind of switch lanes, and they'll go to someone's house to shower. Some of them are, they stay in their car completely. And they may go out to a camping ground sometimes, or they try to risk it some nights. And they'll join like a gym membership, like Planet Fitness or LA Fitness, whatever they can afford. And that's how they shower. They'll just go and take a shower at the gym after working out, using their services, and then they go to work. Do their hair, go to work, and nobody knows they're homeless. Nobody knows they're suffering. Even people that like make good money, they're struggling out. It's like it's not enough. It's like, wow. Tax prices on the house I heard went up. I don't know much about it, but I heard that that's where it's hurting a lot of people now. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know about that. Even if you had your house, the taxes are going up on it. And so, a lot of people are just at a point now they just don't even care anymore. They give up. They're like, I'm tired of working hard to pay bills. I'm tired of working hard just to be told you're gonna get evicted anyways. Why even pay? Why even like take any much more money to put towards rent? It's not gonna be enough. I'm gonna get evicted the following month. It's just too much. So people are like becoming like numb almost. They're like, whatever.
You know, if we're all living in the huts, we're all just gonna live in the huts. You know, and of course they said they arrest us, they're not gonna have enough room to put us in jails because you know, everybody is gonna be a lot more homeless people than what you think. You're not gonna, the jail cells are not gonna be able to withhold all those kind of people. So I mean, if they were to like penalize a whole bunch of people for being homeless, that's gonna be a lot of people that they're gonna have to find room for in these jail cells. You know, or you know, arresting them, and eventually if everybody is having it rough and living on the street, and there's all these people putting for sale signs up or getting evicted, you know, you have nowhere to bring these people. It's gonna be some problems, you know. But that's where people are now. You listen to the videos, people are losing things, and they're starting to realize you can't really trust no one, you know. And you're, you know, it's all by design. If you really look at what's going on, everything is by design. The world don't have to be this way. It's just people make it. The higher people, they make it this way. And sadly, this world, we already know, is ran by the devil. So, you know, the devil's world, it's a wicked place. You know, it's a place of wickedness. And the higher you go up, the more evil it gets, the more evil it becomes. The elites and all those kind of people, yeah. People in the government, all of them. You can't trust them. You know, there's no good side, you know. So I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to what's really going on. There's just so much going on, and they're like, wow, like I've been lied to all my life. If I do good and I work hard and I go to school and college and get education and do everything right, I'll be fine. You know, it's the ones that don't work hard enough. They're the ones that are poor, and that's not true. There's a lot of people that work hard, and guess what? They're on the streets now. You know, so you know they're starting to realize they've been taught a whole big lie. Hold on one second. I think my father's calling me. Give me a second. I gotta go off here again. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Oh, never. I'll just text him back. You got to send me a text. All right. Just put yes on there. Okay. But yeah, it's a sad world we live in. It's so sad. And if you think about how much money, you know, we have, like if you think about all the billion years and trillion years, and there's not a lot of trillion years, I'm sure, out there, but you know, or million years out there, they can feed a lot of people. They can do a lot, but they're in greed. They're, you know, they're selfish. And more than, and think about this, they became rich. A lot of these people, if you think about the stock market, those people became rich off of you. You know, they become rich off our taxes and dollars and everything we do. They get rich off of us. The stock market, you don't think that they're thieves. You know? And don't be surprised if a video like this gets taken down, because people don't like videos like this where people speak on these kind of subjects. But it's true, you know? They're thieves. They steal from you. They profit off of you. And then they want to talk about the birth rate crisis. Oh, it's low. How Social Security is supposed to get paid in the future? You're only worrying about you and your pockets and maybe your grandkids down the line from you. They're not worrying about human beings going extinct. We're not going to go extinct. That's not going to happen. The Bible tells you what's going to happen. Right now we're in the very last days, and the very last days could be a course of 100 to 500 years, maybe more. But there's going to be all these crazy events that's going to happen in this world, and we got to be prepared for it. You know, me and my sister, we really believe that a lot of this stuff that's going on, that's being done by design to make people poorer and suffer and have it harder. I think it's being done because they're trying to make people as desperate as possible to give into whatever their demands are. I mean, if you think about it, if they make people suffer so much, and then eventually, let's say something like the Antichrist comes around, you know, he's going to take advantage of that situation. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I'm just saying that that's what we believe is very possible, because it is, whatever's going on is by design. It's for a bad agenda. And so you see, the devil could take advantage of that. You sit back and say, oh yeah, well, all these people are hungry, or they're starving, oh, they're having it rough, they're living in cars, getting arrested. Do you want to keep living like this, or do you want to have a life where you can enjoy yourself? You can have all of this, you can have a house, whatever, if you do this, you know. Maybe it's going to be they're going to put a chip in your hand or your brain. You don't know. If you do this, we'll give your family food. If you do this for us, we'll give you a house. And that's exactly what's going to happen later on in the near future. The Bible talks about this. It says in the near future, people won't be able to buy or sell. This is in the book of Revelations. People won't be able to buy or sell, and they will need to take the mark of the beast. I don't know what the mark of the beast is. Don't ask me. I think it's a spiritual marking, but some people think it's both a spiritual and physical mark. And if you think about it, people are getting chips in their hands now. And they're also approved the Neuralink, which I want to talk about in the EQ stream, where they put it in your brain for people who have issues. That's what they approved it for. But don't be surprised in the near future they say, well, if you want to do this, you need to put a chip in your hand. You got to put a chip here because this is part of Social Security. This is the new digital currency now. We don't have money anymore. We don't have this. And you're like, I don't want to do this. Well, it's either that or your family don't eat. You know, do you want to eat today? Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, we'll put this in your hand. You know, don't be surprised when that time comes, because there is a time coming where you're going to have to take the mark of the beast. Well, you don't have to, but there are going to be a lot of people that don't believe on the Lord. And they're going to be able to do things as long as they have that mark. But those who are true believers are going to stand till the end. They're not going to take the mark of the beast. They're not going to subject themselves to the devil or whatever his demands are. And so they won't be able to buy or sell. But one way or another, God is going to get us through all things. There's going to be some tough times coming ahead of us. We need to be prepared. That's just it. Now people may laugh. Those who are unbelievers will laugh at what I'm saying, but look what's happening in the world now. Everything is going as the Bible says, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. There will be a time of false peace, and that's going to happen. There'll be a time of false peace, and then all of a sudden hell is going to break loose, and that's what's going to happen. Look at what's going on in this world in Israel. There's so much going on in this world. People are losing their minds. They're depressed. People are depressed. They don't know how to handle this stuff that's going on in this world. And if you don't have God in your life leading you, you're gonna fall. You're gonna get ripped apart. You're gonna get torn. You're gonna get used by the devil. He's gonna rip you apart. He's gonna have you give into all his demands and what he wants from you. Because this world is changing real fast. It's changing quicker than what you think. When I say change, I'm not talking about things don't change. When I say it, I'm sure you know what I mean, in the sense of it's changing in a very bad way, a way where it's sinister. And what you see on TV is nothing. This is just all a masquerade of what's really going on behind the scenes. You're in a spiritual warfare. And so all the stuff you see in the front is all the devil's distractions to keep you away from what's really going on behind the scenes. And so it's bigger than what you can imagine. And so it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And you have to be prepared. You have to be spiritually prepared. You really do. It's going to be some tough times ahead of us. It's so much like it. People are starting to see more and more of it, and you can't deny it anymore. You really can't. Like all these people making these videos, and I've been sharing it because it ain't me just speaking blabber out of my mouth. This is what's really happening, and people are like, yo, what's going on? Like people are, something is off. There's something not right going on. These are people. I'm sure there's unbelievers in these videos that are saying this, and they know something ain't right. They're like, just stuff is feeling off lately. And I saw a video like this. I don't know if I posted up. It was about like everybody feeling something off in the air, like something ain't right. And they said it's not depression. It says no, and it's a whole bunch of people around the world saying this. It says not depression. I'm just feeling something not right. Like something is dark. Like something dark is going on. They can't explain it. Well, see, what people don't understand is that that's not your mind telling you things. This is a spiritual problem. What they're feeling is a spiritual problem. They're feeling a spiritual darkness. And I think now people are starting to wake up more and more to the reality they're living in. And so they're realizing like, okay, this something not right going on. You know, no, they're not crazy. It's just too many people to say they're just crazy. No, what you're feeling is a spiritual problem. It's very spiritual, and that's why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You know, we're in a world filled of lies and deception and darkness and evil. You know, there's so much going on outside of this country right now that is so dark. You got Christians being persecuted in Nigeria right now. You got, you know, the government, you know, sitting here and raising up stuff on people and wars and fights from people in between. Nobody respects each other no more. Love has grown cold. As the Bible says, people are starting to become more cold and distant. You can see the lack of empathy in people now. Heck, people kill you just because of your opinions. You know, and I posted another video. This is on Cassandra Mack's channel. And she was stating about this, like, people are moving weird nowadays. And so you can't even deny it no more. Like, you know, people are killing you for anything now. People are becoming so sensitive to, like, differences. They can't even have a conversation no more. And they're just so numb and different. People are not warm anymore. Like, there are people just killing you just because you're happy. They're just ready to kill you. They see you going in having a good day, and you open the door, and somebody shot someone recently because the lady, or I don't know where it was, she opened the door, and I think she forgot to say thank you, and the woman went up and killed her. I don't know if she shot her or something like that, but this is where we are now. You know, it's getting darker and darker the days. It really is. Heck, 2 years ago. I mean, this is 2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago when I mentioned when I went to a bar. I should have not been there, but I went there because my friend was going through stuff and I wanted to cheer her up. So I went to a bar, had a couple of drinks with her. You know, we didn't drink like crazy, you know, because I didn't want her getting drunk. Just wanted to have a little tipsy and just drink. And I'm sitting there talking with her, and there was this woman. I mentioned I came out with a black, looked like she was a dominatrix or something. She had an evil presence about her, and she looked over at me. You know, she came over, and I was laughing with my friend, having a good time. Nowhere to ever seen this woman ever. I didn't know who she was. Never seen her ever. She comes out of the corner, looks at me, and I'm like, looking at my friend, like, who is this person? She's like, what makes you so happy? And I'm like, looking at my friend, like, what the hell? And, you know, I'm getting ready to get up with my friend, like, okay, I got to go. This lady's weird, you know? And I said, and when I told her Jesus made me happy, that's my true love, that, like, he made me happy, because she was literally asking me what made me happy. She got so angry. It was like a demon. It was like I saw a demon, not her, just standing there. And I didn't know who she was. We were minding our business, just having fun, laughing. And my friend had started to feel better, you know, and she's like feeling cheered up. And this lady just had to come and dampen the mood with her darkness. And that's where you are now, you know? And that woman was trying to follow me out the door. Yeah, she wanted to fight or something. Like she was trying to get up here, like and I didn't let her intimidate me, you know, because I'll get back in your face too. I'm the type that'll hit right back. But I'm glad that didn't happen that way, because I mean, I would have felt guilty. Like I don't think God wants me getting all riled up like that, you know. So I'm glad that, you know, things stayed the way it did. But it's funny because it's like you're asking me what made me happy, and I tell you what made me happy, you're upset. But see, this is where we are now. People are getting mad. They see your spirit, and they're just in darkness, or they just get mad about little things. But see, she's mad because she has a spirit of a demon behind her. She was an unbeliever, and she didn't want to believe. And the sad part was, we didn't even know who the hell she was. We weren't even talking to her. She just saw me, looked at me, and said, what makes you so happy? I told her who that light was, that the one who makes me happy is Jesus. And then when we walked out of that bar, right, my friend and me, she says, maybe this is God's way of telling us we should not have been there. You know, and I said, yeah, because we were both believers. We had no business being in that bar. Maybe God's telling us it's sad people. Not that it's a sin to sit at a bar, but you already know what kind of people are sitting there. People that are depressed, people that are drunk, said that just, you know, messed up with their life. They're in darkness. And, you know, you think they're going to be happy? No. So it's not the place you should be at. So I said, maybe we'll go to a winery next time, or, just have an out back with some wine or something. We should sit in your back. Because I don't want to go to places like that where people are dark and they just want to come at you and attack you because they see a light that's in you. And it's not even my light. It's God's light. It's Jesus. That's who it is. That makes me happy and keeps me moving. And even on my saddest of days where I'm down about, God is my joy. He is the one that uplifts me. But yeah, people today, man, it's even hard to make friends today. It really is. Like, if you want to make friends, it's hard to make friends because you just don't know who to trust anymore. I mean, the Bible tells you not to trust man in general. You're not to trust man with all your heart. But now it's to the point you can't even put a little trust in people. Can't find decent friends. And it's not just me saying this. I've been going to all sorts of videos and seen it from all sorts of people. Like, older people too, older than my age, like 20 years plus. It's hard to find a friend. And it's true. It's very hard to find a really good, true friend that's true, that's of wisdom, that's genuine, just a true, genuine person. It's hard to even find that anymore. A person that's of God. Unless God can send people your way, and maybe you could find a fellowship with people that are of God. But again, you got so many false churches out there. There's a lot of people that say they're of God, but they're really not of God. And then you come to their church, you realize they're gossiping tongues there, and people who think they're something. They think they're God's people because they do some religious works, and they're talking about you. Yeah, she's not a child of God. Look at her. Wasn't she out there at the club the other weekend? You like, what the hell? Like, what the hell does that have to do with her faith in the Lord? And sitting there, and then they come, hey girl, how you doing? Yes. Hallelujah. Oh, how you doing, sister? And he's sitting there with a fake smile. Yes, we were thinking about you. And they're fake as hell. And you think because they're dressed a certain way, got a fruit basket on their head with a fan in their head, talking about hallelujah. You think they're good people. No, they're religious. They're not people of God that are of faith. That's my hubby bubby right there. Let's see what he's doing. Where are you going? Getting stuff out? Want to say hi? I know. Here. Yep. Oh, here, let me bring this stuff upstairs. Okay. Well, I'm going to get going. If I have some time, I'll get back one tonight. But I got to get stuff done. God bless everybody, and bye-bye.